Good evening and thanks for joining us. Moses, a big night for the Border Kings.
Yeah, it was a great contest between the two teams, obviously evenly matched, but obviously the Border Kings look to come out on top. We'll have more and a little bit funny stuff as well in sports too.
Looking forward to it. And Peter, I don't know if it's just because we've been spoiled for so long, but it felt a lot colder outside today.
It sure was. We actually had a ridge of high pressure sink down. It's an Arctic high pressure, so it pulls down that Arctic air with it. Cooled our temperature off significantly, actually. Right now at this time we're at -12, which is much cooler than we were at this time yesterday because of that northeast wind that's sucking down the cool air from the Arctic. You can see that wind chill is down to -18 because of that wind, up to 11 kilometers per hour right now. And as we head across the region, you can see there's actually some flurries in the Lakeland region. They're also sitting at -12, and some snow for the Battlefords. They've had snow throughout the afternoon. They're currently sitting at -9. We'll talk about why all this is going on in just a few minutes.
Knife RCMP are searching for a suspect after a man was found stabbed in the neck on the Little Pine First Nation. Officers responded to the call at roughly 8 o'clock Friday night. Investigators are trying to find 22-year-old Stephen Kesokia. A warrant has been issued for his alleged involvement in the incident. If you were in the area and saw anything suspicious, please call the Knife RCMP. A North Battleford resident has been slapped with close to $41,000 in fines after being convicted of unlawfully importing and exporting wildlife. The Saskatchewan Ministry of Environment says Carlin Nordstrom transported deer and elk multiple times without proper authorization. The ministry says acts like these can spread disease and create a huge risk to area wildlife. The Vic Juba Community Theatre just received a $150,000 makeover. The upgrade includes new speakers, amplifiers, and cables to enhance the audience's experiences. As Peter Quillen explains, the changes will bring bigger and better performers to the border city.
For nearly a decade, audiences have enjoyed the sights and sounds of shows at the Vic Juba Community Theatre, and they're only going to get better.
Instantly, people are going to recognize a clearer and less distorted sound.
Over the past month, the theatre underwent major renovations, replacing their aging equipment with the latest in sound technology.
The speaker arrays are now flying from the ceiling. The subs are on the floor. The amplifier bank behind me, all of those things just create a much better delivery system for the sound, so that instead of being blasted into the front 4 or 5 rows, it's actually spread out a lot more evenly throughout the theater. So
Kraft says the old system limited the performers they could bring in, but now with their new 48-channel soundboard, the sky's the limit.
there's no acts that will come through or drive by Lloydminster who can't make a stop here and entertain.
They tried the new system last week, and Kraft says the surround sound experience was enjoyed by all.
I think the audience was unanimous in noticing that immediately that something was different. Simply from the direction of sound point of view, instead of just being shot straight out into the base of the theater, now we have sound coming at our patrons from all over the place.
And the new technology will bring sounds from theaters around the world to the border city.
Literally, a USB thumb drive can be inserted into the side of this thing into a USB jack, and the setup that Serena Ryder had in her studio, our board will immediately make adjustments, and they can start from there and then just fine-tune from that for this room perfectly.
Peter Quinlan, Newcap News.
A Lloydminster Chamber of Commerce member is being nationally recognized for her years of dedicated service. A milestone marker many don't even dream of. After 15 years of dedication, Pat Tenney has been recognized with the Canadian Chamber of Commerce Long Service Award.
I've kind of grown along with the Chamber. Our community has grown so much, and our Chamber has grown so much over the past 15 years that it's been really interesting and challenging and a lot of fun.
Pat has deep roots in the border city. Before the Chamber, she worked with the Big Sisters of Lloydminster and the Interval Home, but her efforts for area business are second to none.
She gets up every morning just to try to make the business side of Lloydminster positive, successful, flourishing.
But her work hasn't come without its challenges, especially being part of a border city.
Our Chamber is working more collaboratively with other business leaders in the community and trying to help our government people to understand us a little bit better. some of the challenges and issues that we have with this border city of ours.
As for her future plans, Pat isn't seeking retirement anytime soon. She's looking forward to the New West partnership and the doors it will open for cross-province business. When snow covers a parking lot and a handicap stall becomes unmarked, anyone can help themselves to prime parking. As Elise Cox explains, the Canadian Paraplegic Association makes it their goal to educate others about the challenges the physically disabled face every day.
For someone with physical disabilities, every day is a challenge. And Art Erickson from the Canadian Paraplegic Association makes it his goal to educate others on the limits people are setting for the disabled without even knowing it.
It's incredibly important to increase awareness because unless you're faced with a serious disability, mobility issue, you have no idea some of the challenges that exist.
The Canadian Paraplegic Association educates through information seminars such as this one, peer programs or assistance about the small things in communities that create big difficulties to those with disabilities.
A simple thing like a lip on a sidewalk or a threshold that's 1.5 inches high can preclude you actually getting access to a building.
After his time in Lloydminster, Art pointed out some small changes that can be done to increase accessibility and says the city has been very receptive. His overall message is to simply
be advocates for the people with disabilities and say, you know, this could be done better.
Elise Cox, Newcap News.